Welcome to the last live stream for today, for day 3 of the Card Making with SVGs Plus. I cannot wait to be able to sit down and not do stuff for a little bit. Anyway, okay, so today, right, the topic for this hour is silhouette and more hacks. So, like, we've got Michelle knows a little bit about Siser, so she's here for that. I know a little bit about silhouette. Erin knows a little bit about silhouette. She also knows about the lock lick as well. So if you have any questions about any of those machines, we can hopefully answer them. If you are not familiar with the event and why we're here, it is the Card Making with SVGs Plus Summit. You can grab a free ticket on the little crawl bar that's going across if you don't already have one, because we are offering 6 different card projects each day for free. And it's really fun, and the live streams have been a huge blast. I don't know about you guys, but I loved it. And I don't know. What more can I say? I'm very tired, so you're going to have to bear with me.
Want to introduce yourself just in case people don't know who you are?
Oh, thank you. So,
All right,
so I'm Elena. I am with Black Sheep 303 Creative. I'm also the host of this summit, and I am a SVG designer. I primarily design cards. I love making cards. Cards are my one true love after my hubby. So I started out my blog back in almost 10 years ago with traditional card making, and then in the pandemic I transitioned over to designing SVGs, and I just love both. But I really wanted to sort of bring the two worlds together, where we have people who are more traditional card makers and know about all the sort of amazing products and techniques involved with that world, which is more like stamps and dyes and inks and coloring and all that good stuff, embossing folders, heat foil, with people who cut cards with their Cricut and their Silhouette and their Siser, because it seems like there's not a huge overlap between them necessarily. Sort of like Cricut people do their Cricut cards, and then the traditional card people do the traditional cards. And I think there is room for both together. And there are great techniques that people aren't familiar with just alone with their cutting machine, like print and cut and foiling and that kind of thing, that can really up your cards, how great they look in the end, as well as adding in more traditional card techniques like ink blending and that kind of stuff to also up your cards. So that is what this event is about. So that's enough about me. Let's have these guys introduce themselves. Michelle, why don't you tell us about you?
All right. So I'm Michelle Price, and I am here kind of doing double duty. I have my own personal site, bitsandpiecespaperlab.com, where I sell SVGs for card makers. I also love to make cards. So that's my personal site. And then I'm also teaching a class for 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop. And 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop is an online resource, like your one-stop paper store. We have, I think last time I looked, we had like over 4,200 different colors and sheets of paper. So we pretty much have everything, like foil and glitter and sequin glitter. Like this is one of our coolest papers, the sequin glitter cardstock. So we really specialize. The Encore line of papers are made for cutting machines. So we're excited to be here to talk about paper and cutting.
And Erin, tell us about you. Or I guess maybe you're over here.
I don't know. We just keep moving around every time I click a button for us to go in different places. Hey, I'm Erin Reed from Erin Reed Makes, and I'm a content creator for a lot of the social media channels, and I have a YouTube, do lots of live YouTubes and also pre-recorded shorts, all that kind of fun stuff, all in the crafty sphere. So anything that pretty much has a crafty or art twist to it, that's where I land. I travel to different events. I do all those things. I also host my own event, in-person retreat, and also a virtual event called the Makers Retreat. And I love to be part of all these amazing summits. And for some of these summits, like Elena's, I also help in the background. And I'm the one who's doing all the clicky button things in the background of all the lives. So I am there watching all the things.
She's there all the time.
I am here everywhere. And shout out to Amy. She said something about being tickled pink every time she sees me. Well, apparently I'm wearing pink, so that seems apropos.
Hey,
there you go.
All right. Well, I see already a comment from Paula saying she just found out HTV Ront makes a machine. That is the lock lick, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It is.
So you want to give us a little rundown on that? Erin?
Sure. So the lock click machine is by the company HTV Runt. Sorry, I'm trying to like click on buttons here at the same time as I'm
You gotta do 12 things at once.
I'm like wearing many hats right now. So yeah, the lock click machine is the parent company is HTV Runt. So if you've heard of them in the world of sublimation and heat presses, their cutting machine division is called lock click. I've had nothing but good things. I got the machine back in January and I did like an unboxing video and played around with it. And the best way to describe it, if you are in the world of, other machines, it's closer to like the Explorer, and for Cricut. And it's done everything I've wanted to do, minus one thing. It's because I can't replace the cartridge on the machine to a rotary blade. I used to do a lot of cutting with felt. I worked for a felt company for a number of years. And the rotary blade does not work with this. It says it can cut felt, but it can't, because you just have the main blade and then you have a deep cut blade. But for paper, for vinyl, I've cut different thicknesses of paper. Pretty much everything else I've wanted it to do that I have asked it to do, and was trying, like getting stuff ready for my retreats and getting all my projects I do for all of these summits, the card that I did for this event, everything was on that machine. I keep pointing because it's literally like right over there on my like roller table. So it's been very, very good. I have had zero complaints. The benefit that I have loved is the fact that the design studio that they have has been so user friendly. If there was something I didn't know, they had like embedded videos within the program. I could click and go, I don't understand that. Can you show me more? Teach me how to do that thing. So it felt very easy. It felt innate. I didn't feel like I had to stretch real hard. Coming from working in the Cricut design studio over to here, it just felt like a breeze. And granted, I'm working on it from my desktop, but it does also work from your phone. It connects Bluetooth, like it does all the things you want it to do, where you just kind of plug it in and you want to cut something, it does great. The other side in the studio, which was different than when I was playing in the Cricut design studio, was that I could go in and I want to let's say I want to select, like for instance, I was cutting with a 12 by 12 Encore paper and I wanted to select how to cut with their paper, and I'd never used that machine with their paper before. And the first time around, like it didn't quite get there. I could go in and go, I want to slow the speed down. I want to do 2 passes, and I could like tweak every individual level. Wow. Once I picked like heavyweight cardstock. So I could go, yeah, I want to do 2 passes, 3 passes, 4 passes. I could select and go up and down. I could go in and go, I want to go from an 8.9 to a 9 to a 9.1 in terms of pressure. I could do speed. I could go up like just a titch. I could go like at a 2.3 speed to a 2.4 speed. So it was very, very easy to maneuver around. And if I found the perfect setting that worked for that paper, I could save it. And every time I brought back up 210-pound cardstock, and I'm just throwing a number out that doesn't exist, but probably it's like cardboard or something, it would remember the last time I used it, which was very, very cool. Wow. So that part I thought was fantastic. Am I wrong? Is there like a 210-pound cardstock to the cardstock lady? Does that even exist? I just threw a number right.
That's pretty heavy, but
yeah,
that's probably
I'm like, that's cardboard.
Level. Yeah.
You're I don't know where that number came from, but there you go. But like that's the part that I loved about it, that if it just didn't quite work, I could do one tiny tweak, and that's sometimes all you need is, it just needs a little more pressure or a little slower for such an intricate design. And I really found that to be very good, which I think is very similar to the Silhouette. The Silhouette, you can do the same thing in their program.
So so I see 2 questions in the comments. What's the software called, and then how much does it cost?
So I keep calling it Design Studio because it's something similar. It's not called Design Studio because that is Cricuts, but it's something close enough. If you give me a couple seconds, I could look it up. So I think it's Googling pretty close to like Design Studio. Yeah, like give me 2 seconds and I can get there. And the cost is about the same price as like, I want to say it's like $170. And they usually have some sort of discounts. You can get them on Amazon. They have the bundles where you can get all the fun stuff to go with it. It came with a mat. It came with it came with like the vinyl roller attachment stuff. So like it's got lots of cool things that I haven't even scratched the surface on all the stuff it can do, because I've just been using it for what I need it to do. But I know other people like, can it do chipboard? No, it's not a maker. It's not that higher level, can cut everything kind of doodad. It's more like if you're into vinyl, you're into HTV, you're into print then cut, you're doing papers, this machine's perfect for that.
That sounds good. And
it's a good price point, but I can do a quick search. about what the design studio is called. I'd have to
I
look
mean-
at it. It's on my desktop. I just need it.
HTV Rot makes really good vinyl, so it doesn't surprise me that they would make a good
That goes really well
machine
with
for
it.
cutting that, you know.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
nice.
Been nothing but happy, minus the felt, because it again, you need a rotary blade to cut that,
Right.
and it just doesn't have the capacity. Oh, there was one other thing that I was not. It also has the capacity to put the pen in there and to like draw with it.
Nice.
And it has like a pen housing to switch. I have yet to find another marker that fits in there besides the one they gave us.
Oh,
So if you're really into liking to using like the pen attachment, that would say, but I don't. I personally don't throw my pen in there and use it for that. But it has a capability, and I think like there was a workaround that I saw in one video. She found one brand, and if you look at the marker, you'll understand why. It's kind of like it's got a narrower barrel where it goes in. It's just smaller. And she found a set of markers that fit really well with it. So I was like, okay, well, there is something out there, but it's not like, oh, I can grab any marker and have an attachment and it works, which is a little bit of a, they need to tweak that, but I feel like that's an easy tweak if you have the right adapter.
Yeah.
yeah.
They just need to make it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really. Well, and they probably will, because they seem pretty. They take customer feedback and like change things according to that. So that's good. At least in my
Sorry,
experience.
I'm moving my mouse around to try and get to my other screen that's behind me so I can see what the thing is called.
Loretta's asking, can't you program those settings in Cricut Design Space also? You can change the pressure setting and how many times it cuts, but you can't change the speed.
No.
That would be the one thing you can't do that's different. Does it print and cut? Kelly's asking that, Erin.
Yes, it does print and cut. That was one of its big things that they're like, it's so fantastic. I've not personally tried it, so I can't tell you because I'm not a big print and cut girl. But that was one of the big things they were harping on about how, like whenever I would go into the videos and we were emailing back and forth, because I will say they sent me the machine to do the video. They didn't. So, but I've been playing with it ever since because it's the only functional machine I have to do any of the projects for any of the classes I've been doing. So I've been forced to play with it more than defaulting back to the Cricut. And so it's been great, but I've not done print and cut. But it looks really user-friendly. So
I'll have to try that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious too. Okay. Oh, yeah. And so Jean is commenting that Silhouette can change speed and pressure. Yes, that is true. So, which is really nice. That's one of the things I like about Silhouette. Silhouette is great for it's great for everything really, but like the software program is probably the big thing that separates it from other machines. It's less expensive than Cricut. I mean, it's not hugely different, so that's not like a huge change, but the software is significantly different than Cricut Design Space. You could, and Kelly was talking about this yesterday, you can design SVGs in the software program. And for me as an SVG designer, the most important thing with designing SVGs is the ability to alter the points. And so points are what creates the path that the machine cuts along. So that's how you make the design, and that's how it's scalable. Like it can go up bigger and larger and smaller because you're just changing the vectors is where the points determine the vectors. So Silhouette Studio can actually do that, whereas Design Space, you cannot do that. So like if you wanted to change, like this font, I like the font, but I don't like this one part about it. Like this one letter looks weird. You could go in and alter the points that create that letter to change the shape of it into what you want it to look like. And that's the really fun thing about designing SVGs. But it also does all the other just fun, normal things. Like if you don't care about designing SVGs, like you can, print and cut, and you can cut, like the Cameo is probably closer to the Maker. And I've only ever had a Cameo, so I can't really talk to like the Portrait or the Curio. Those have different, the Portrait's a little bit smaller. The Curio has like really like specific functions like engraving and stuff like that. But so I've got a Cameo 4. You can see it here. It, it can draw. It can cut, cardstock and paper. There's also a knife blade for it, so you can cut thicker materials. It has a rotary blade, so you can cut felt and fabrics. What else? That's all that comes to mind off the top of my head. And then one other thing that I have a sort of a love-hate relationship about the software is that when you're working in the software, you are working on the mat that you are going to be sending to the machine. So, I mean, this metaphorically, I guess. So like you're looking at a picture of the mat, and where you put elements on that mat is where it's going to actually cut when you send that design to the machine on the mat. Like when you feed the mat in there, it's going to cut it in that lower left corner or the middle or the lower right or whatever. So you're not stuck with everything always going to the upper left corner. So you have the freedom to move things around and decide exactly where you want to put it on the mat. And it's not just, I mean, you can move things on the mat with Cricut too, once you're in the mat screen, but this is like a little more freeform than that, because you're moving things around like as you're working in the project, rather than having to go to a separate screen. Like the canvas in Cricut Design Space, you would be looking at the actual mat. So I like that, but then my hate part of it is that you can only cut one mat at a time. You can only send one mat at a time to the machine. So you have to like put everything on the mat the way you want it cut out. Then you send that mat to the machine. It cuts it, and then you come back and you have to move everything off the mat and put the new elements on the mat and send that through the machine. Unlike Cricut, where they like kind of for you just separate it all into all the mats that you need, and so you only have to like click make, so to speak, once, rather than having to keep going back to like the I can't remember the tabs called in Silhouette Studio to like actually send it to the machine. So
there's no way to like cut by color. Like if you have like a yellow thing and a red thing, you can't like just turn on cut by red or cut the red. You can't do that in Silhouette.
Not as far as I know.
Yeah, that's kind of a pain.
Even if they're different colors.
The one thing is you can place stuff on the mat and then like place your cardstock in that same spot on the mat, so that, and it cuts it all at once. So as long as you have like the different colors on your mat, you can cut multiple colors with one mat, which is nice.
That's kind of nice. Yeah.
Usually like if within Cricut I had to turn everything black, and then I just had to remember what colors I wanted to do, or make everything the same color. Yeah, Locklock has it that if you have two different colors, it'll do it on two different mats. So if you want to put everything on one mat to cut it at once, you have to make it all the same color, because it'll force it to be separate. And I looked it up, and somebody had mentioned it in the comments. It's called Idea Studio for Locklock. Yeah. And then for Siser, it's called the Leonardo, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
But I am very excited about the 5 Alpha, which is the new machine coming out with the electrostatic mat. So Terry, who is a Silhouette expert, was on yesterday when we were talking about which machine was right for us, and she was talking about how that has been a game changer for her with cardstock. And Erin went to the
I went to the
conference, I guess.
Conference,
so
summit, Silhouette Summit.
Yeah, and know all. So tell us about the electrostatic mat after you finish coughing.
Sorry, I tried to mute myself. You could see me when I was
did.
I did a good job there. Sorry, I was like scarfing down. Halloween candy is the bane of my existence. I just got finished having some peanut M&Ms. I had a peanut like in the back of my throat.
Oh no.
So, small problems. So it is amazing. So basically the gist of it is, you've never played with the ES mat. That's what they're calling electrostatic. So ES mat it's compatible with the Cameo 5 and the 5 Alpha. So the 5 Alpha is the new machine that's just coming out. You can get it now. Get the 5 Alpha. The Cameo 5 had some issues and they resolved it. That's why the Alpha came out. They did not have it compatible with, this is the part, because I'm kind of new on
not compatible with 4.
It did not come out with the 4, but there is an ES mat that goes with the Portrait 4. Oh. So they do have one that's smaller that fits with that. And so basically it's this giant, looks like a big plate, for lack of a better term, kind of like if you were going to take my laptop, that kind of thickness, it's not super heavy, but like size wise, and you would butt it up to the edge of your mat or edge of your machine. And then there's like this kind of silicone-y type mat that you would place on top of that. And that's what you would put your cardstock to. And you kind of push a button and everything goes and sticks down to it. And it creates this electrostatic like suction of the paper to it, because there's nothing sticky about it. And then it rolls this, instead of having a plastic carrier sheet that goes back and forth, this entire mat goes whoop, whoop, whoop through the machine.
Oh, wow.
And I have it all in video, and there's videos coming about it, but there's lots of other content out there as well. And it cuts it. And then when you're done with the cut, you like stop the electrostatic charge. So it decharge. Think of like you rub your feet on, you build up a charge when you rub your feet on carpet, right? And then then you zap somebody. It's that same concept. So you've decharged it. So everything's kind of going, huh. And then you pull up the piece that you're wanting to cut, and it just comes like, if you think about like a piece of paper, you got all your bits and pieces that you want to keep inside. You pull the outside of the 12 by 12 out, and all the bits and pieces are left on the paper, and you can lift up that kind of slinky silicone mat, and everything just kind of shuffles off of there. You pull the pieces off, nothing's sticky, nothing's going to rip because it's stuck to the mat too hard. I mean, how many times has that happened to you, right? Yeah. You've cut something and it stayed great, like it's stuck on there wonderfully, but it stuck a little too much. And you go to pull it, and I still have mats that have like paper stuck to portion of it, like rip the backside of it off. Yeah. This won't do that, which is fabulous. So to me, it's a big game changer, but it only works with paper.
Right.
That's really cool. I mean, just the benefit of like not having, if you cut something with a bunch of little inner pieces, to not have to scrape your mat. Like that's pretty
There's
incredible.
No scrapey mats. No tools, special tools you need to help. Like the weeding there's none, because it's, and again, I'm talking about paper. But yeah, it really does eliminate a lot of the issues for you.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about it curling with the mats, like when you're taking it off the mat and stuff. I'm so excited.
You do have to have a little bit more space, because the tray that it fits is more like it's the 12, or it's actually a little bit longer than 12, because you can fit a full 12 by 12. But it goes up to, I want to say like 14 or 16 inches in length. Okay. So you need to think about it as if you're putting like a 12 by 24 mat in. Think of something like that in terms of size. That is the carrier tray. And thicker, it's not thin like our regular mats. So
awesome.
So how does it do with like, do you have to put a full sheet on, or could you put like little scraps on, and will it hold
you can do
that
scraps, you can do wherever, like it just like it would be a regular mat, and it's got the grid marks and everything on it too. You can place whatever you want and wherever you want, just like you would be cutting if you were going to be doing a sticky mat. Something like that.
Even if it's small, it will still have enough static to hold it.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Doesn't matter how big or small it is. Again, I've only seen it in demo mode. I do not personally have a silhouette product in hand. So I have never, what I have cut was when I went to the summit. So they were using 12 full sheets, but we had like different demo tables, and I saw over there, they were doing like a 6x6 sheet on there, and it was working. I don't know about like that big. I've not personally tried that, so I can't attest to that, but it's electrostatic. It's going to suction down, and they don't move. Like when it's on there, it was on there.
That's cool.
I'm seeing some comments. Debbie Brogan is saying that thinner paper does not stick to it, causing it to tear. So that, like copy paper, is that what you're talking about? Like, or scrapbook kind of weight paper? I don't know.
Yeah, like
maybe that, or maybe she was saying like vellum or something.
Oh, that could be.
We were doing something. So we were doing two different types. We did like a thin paper, almost like a 65-pound cardstock. So like that level. So what is to the paper lady? What is the poundage of like copy paper? It was thicker than that.
30.
It's like text versus cover weight. I actually don't even know. I'm trying to remember. Is it
20 or 30 pounds?
Yeah, 35 is what's coming to mind. But
so we were doing like a 65, so like a thinner cardstock, like the cheapy thin card, like not cheapy, but it's just like the thinner stuff.
That's all I do.
Versus like 110. And then we did something that was like 110 like pounds. So we did those two, and it did just fine. So people are saying it's 20 pounds for copy paper.
Okay.
We didn't try that, but I saw it on a thinner cardstock, and then I saw it on the thick stuff, and it worked great. So
like some of those-
cardstock versus, like more like a paper consistency.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Well, I mean, copy paper. Paper,
Oh, she's saying tissue paper or copy paper. Well, that makes sense. Yeah. That's a little.
Wow, that's really interesting.
So somebody's saying that Ellie Mae's card demoed the electrostatic mat. So go and her.
Oh, right.
Today,
Yeah, of course. Because she's a silhouette expert too. And she was supposed to be here. She couldn't make it, unfortunately. So.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, can you export? Okay, sorry. I'm just noticing. I'm starring.
No problem.
I say these things out loud as I'm behind the scenes with. I've got all these starred questions in the background here. So there's lots of questions coming. Sure. So let me jump back to one that somebody had at the very beginning, just to make sure that we answer it. So hey, hello, we'll say hi. Looking at the Cameo 4 Plus, but want to know more about it. So we don't have the Plus. I don't, but you have the Cameo 4.
I have just the regular one. The Plus is a little bit longer. I think it cuts 15 inches instead of 12.
Yeah, it's like it's the base for it to go in, like how wide your paper is, can go in better. So if you know that you're going to want to cut wider things, that's where you want to go with that. That's where the Plus comes in. But they're about to come out with the 5 Plus, I think, and it's got like an automatic like sliding door, so you don't have to lift it open anymore. You turn it on, it goes. You just touch it, and it goes whoop, and it opens up.
I love stuff.
We were all playing with that. We were like, "How fun!"
Yeah, I was saying that's the thing I don't like about the 4, because the cover is like really flimsy, so it always feels like when I have to push it back and pull it forward, I always worry I'm gonna like accidentally like do it too fast or something, and it's gonna break the whole thing off the front. But hasn't yet. Well, so if you have any specific questions about Cameo 4 that we haven't answered, I'm like a Cameo 4 Plus or whatever. I mean, I can throw them out there. We can.
Well, and it's also curious, like, what machine are you coming from? Are you looking at a previous silhouette product that you already have, or are you coming from Cricut, or are you coming from a Siser? So like what's the reason for the looking at that machine?
Why would you like to change
launching from?
Yeah
Good
question.
That might help us answer the question.
Do you guys want to hear something funny? I bought so my very first cutting machine was a silhouette, but it was like when it launched, and it was called Quick Cuts, I think.
Oh, I remember Quick Cuts. Yeah.
Was it Quick Cuts? Is that what it was called?
There was a
RoboCraft, maybe.
I
don't remember. It had a different, like it was a silhouette, but it had a different name. Anyways, I bought it on HSN, and it came with a gift card that was good for 20 downloads. Like you could download 20 files, but the files were $20 a piece. So like one single SVG file was $20. So or maybe $10. So my card was a $200 gift card that was supposed to be good for 10 downloads. Well, pretty quickly they were like, "Oh yeah, that's not going to work," and they went to 99 cents. So for like years, I had this gift card just loaded with money that I could. So that was my first machine.
Nice.
I guess I was an early adopter, and then I worked. Cricuts existed, and I didn't even have a Cricut. I just went straight to from nothing to silhouette, and then I worked at Pazzles for many years.
Oh, I remember that name. That's really pulling out from the.
Yeah. Yep. So they actually they existed before silhouette. They were the first personal size cutter. So I worked there for a lot of years, and so I didn't use my silhouette. Then I had my Pazzles, and then once I quit working at Pazzles, I went back to a Cricut. Then I got a Siser, and I also have a Cameo. So yeah, but I think I still have credits on my silhouette store because I started designing files, and then I didn't really need it anymore. So
too funny.
Yeah. Funny.
You should see if it works on like other products accidentally,
Maybe it would.
They have all kinds of new stuff. They just launched some new tools and things too. So like that was the nice thing about silhouette specifically. They have these like extra rotary roller. Words are not coming today. They're like, like the rollers in silhouette look different than the rollers on any of the other machines. They're definitely like their own kind of thing, which I think is great because I think the rubber rollers are stupid. I've had a problem. Like my machine's not working because the rubber rollers have like warped out of place and it won't catch the tray anymore. So the machine is fine except for these stupid rubber rollers, and I cannot use it. My Cricut. But
That's a
the
bummer.
Silhouette has a different type of roller system, and they have it now. See, like they just look different.
Is it still this like sort of springs and?
No, they're a little different now. The 5 looks
With,
very
like-
different than that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they've modified the rollers, and now you can buy extra ones to clamp them in and give even more stability to your carrier sheet, so that your paper doesn't
Interesting.
warp and then things don't warp. So I think that's kind of cool too.
That's nice.
Yeah. So here's a question for Silhouette people: does it have a rotary cutter for fabric?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, they have all different kinds of blades you can switch in and out. And then they have like the A adapter for the blade, and there's a C adapter, and there's that they had a whole like chart they put up on the screen for all the different adapters.
You probably needed that, yeah. But it's nice that it comes with that too.
Yeah.
You know, and like they give you the pen. Yeah, so you can put different pens into it too, which is really nice.
Yeah.
You guys are convincing me.
I don't even personally have one. So.
Well, you're doing a great
But I saw the
job
cool
selling
stuff.
it.
I guess I like got sucked into the whole. But there's certain things, again, coming from being ticked off about my stupid maker not functioning because of the damn rollers. Which is just like it's right there, and I know I could fix it, but I've just heard horror stories of like taking it apart and then things not working and trying to get the rubber things. But anyway, I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And I do love the lock lick, but it can't do everything. Like I really want to cut fabric again. I really want to cut felt again. I would really love to be able to do thicker elements again. And I just can't with this one because it's paper and it's meant for paper and vinyl.
Yeah. So Michelle, tell us about like the Siser and Leonardo.
Yeah, so like I said, I was cutting on a Cricut, and then I got a Siser, and I will say, like, I was immediately intimidated because of the way the blade is when you first get it. You have to actually like set your blade depth yourself. So immediately I was like, oh boy, like this machine is not for me. But I just stuck with it. I did it. It really didn't take me that long. I think it was just like a mental thing. That's really the only complaint I have about that machine, is that you have to like, like a Cricut, you just like pop your blade in and it just catches. This one you put it in and it catches, but then you have to like turn the little knob to get it set right. So that was a little frustrating for me. But once I did that, I am just totally hooked. And the reason is because I said this earlier, but Cricut puts things in the left corner. And so you tend, if you're just being lazy like I am, you just cut everything in that left corner because it's easier. But just like what you said with Silhouette, where you place it on the mat is kind of like where things will cut. You can actually, there's options where you can change that how you want it to do. If you want it to position things in a corner for you, if you want to cut it as you're seeing. So it has a ton of flexibility like that. The other reason I just love it is because I end up using a lot of scraps, and the way that it works, you load it in and you have a starting point on your mat, but you can, once it's loaded in, like it feeds in, you can adjust, there's little arrows on the machine, you can adjust your mat, move it forward and back. So really you can like start your cut anywhere on the mat. So it's pretty cool because then you use your whole mat, and like we were talking about earlier, you can put different things on the mat and then just kind of like adjust it where you want it to cut. So I really liked that. And then it just like, it cuts so detailed and good. It's just better than a Cricut. It's pretty phenomenal. So even like I've done cardstock and vinyl, and I'm not real experienced with vinyl, but I definitely am with cardstock. And it really cuts exceptionally well. So I was impressed, and I've been using it. I mean, my Cricut was on the floor because I was using my Siser, but then, every so often I have to use my Cricut for classes and stuff. So I'll get it back out, but yeah, I'm pretty sold.
Nice.
There's
Yeah. And
a
the
question
software
about blade depths, just to touch on that. Does the Silhouette?
It has an auto blade, but when you send stuff to cut, you can go in and like manually adjust stuff. You can go like, it has preset materials like Cricut Design Space does. So and really in my experience, those all work really well. But you can also go to like the advanced setting and set the blade depth can set the speed and set the pressure if you want to. The original machines, yeah, you did have to like hand crank it to like the setting, to
Right.
get it to the right depth. You don't have to do that anymore on the newer machines.
And I could see like bonuses to that, because if you've got a thicker material that you're wanting to cut, and you have like Cricut, you're limited by what the distances and the rollers and stuff like that, like how thick that is. So if you're able to adjust that a little bit, that's nice. But
Yeah.
one of the things I remember at the Silhouette conference was that they were getting rid of all the manual stuff and everything was going to auto.
Okay.
There was a couple things that were still manual, and now everything's pretty much going in the auto route. So.
And just to clarify on the Siser, you don't have to you don't have to do that adjustment before every cut. It's like when you are installing a new blade, you have to get it locked in to the right spot. And then from then on, you're good. So it's just kind of a when you're changing your blade type thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
I'm making it sound terrible. It's not. It was just like.
But I can still see advantages.
It's just like an extra step,
Right. And like when you open your box and that's like the first thing and you're like, oh no. That's your first experience is like, oh no. And so once I got through that, I was like, oh, this is amazing. But I just got myself psyched out. So.
Well, and anybody who's got any kind of laser cutter, you have to do the same thing. You have to set your blade where it's going to be meeting the surface. So that feels no different to anybody who's ever used a laser, because that's standard on pretty much all laser cutters.
Well, my laser does it automatically.
Oh, mine doesn't.
Oh.
Because you don't know how thick your product is that you're going to be cutting.
But it like reads it every time. It's just you just have to hit like the thing to I don't know what calibrate. I don't know what it's called. But you click the button and it just comes over and it reads it and then it does.
Oh no, mine I have to like again different brand, different thing. So
I was like, I am not going to get into the hand calibration on a laser. So I was like, if I get a laser, I want that auto
self-calibrating.
Yeah. I was like.
All right, we have another quick question about somebody asked about my shirt.
Oh, okay.
I did not make it, but I designed it, and on my I have a merch store on my YouTube channel, so you can click through my YouTube channel, and it's like on all my videos and stuff, and you can get the design, and you can get it on any background color of shirt. So just a heads up, and I have other designs in there too. But usually when I'm on film, I'm wearing whatever shirt. I think I could switch to get a better angle of it this way. Nope, still the same thing. Sorry. I wear the shirts that I designed. So like yesterday I had a butterfly on and it says like, choose happiness and stuff like that. And I also have the rainbow heart, and it's got all like the scissors and hearts and paint splatters and markers and, glue guns and things like that on there.
Cute.
Very cute.
Yeah, it's like all the different like crafty things.
Oh,
so,
fun.
It's fun. It's
nice.
Fun. We have a question from Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you find the best cut settings?
Yeah, can you read it to me?
She's never glasses on. Where do we find the best cut settings for 12x12 cardstock's fancier papers?
That's somebody asked that this morning, and that's a good question. We usually, when people write in, we'll answer it, but we should probably put together some sort of a chart. We do have a chart. So our textured cardstock, which is our standard line, we do have a chart that shows you what cut setting to use for any machine, and you can find that on our website. But we should probably do that for like the glitter papers and everything. So the glitter and the sequin glitter, I use the poster board setting on Cricut. And then the foil, anything that's like heavier than 80, I like to use poster board because it will do that double cut and it just makes the cleanest cuts. So anything more than 80 or 85, I think my machine might cut, like I have to use heavy plus on an 80-pound cardstock. So I think my machine has issues too. So,
and I've cut the foil, the matte foil and the sequin glitter on the Joy Extra, and I used heavy cardstock with more pressure.
Okay, perfect.
And you did have to like kind of pop it out, but it popped out. I mean, it wasn't like stuck or anything.
See, it didn't cut the first time on my lock click, so I just went more pressure and one more cut.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So I think I was doing like one of the glittery ones.
Yeah.
I really believe in the double cut. The double cut is my friend because
I do love double cut too.
Yeah. Then you
I
just
have like a lot of mine I've adjusted them so that they do like my heavy, I think.
Yeah.
I changed it to do 2 cuts.
The little clouds. That was from like August or was this July? This was July.
July,
Box, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And it was like the shimmery paper down here. It just needed a little bit more, but it popped right through. It was like butter.
Yep.
Very
okay,
nice.
but noted. We will make a chart for that. Thank you for that suggestion.
Because I did do a test cut, and so if I didn't have to, and I was kind of like throwing it in the dark there to see, but it would have been nice. But that's again, like that's an oddball machine that not everybody has. That's like I don't know, stepchild.
Yeah.
Not the stepchild. It's not what I would call like the main three. It's one of the because it's new. It's new on the market.
Yeah.
And it's a lesser known company.
Lesser known company. Well, not HTV Romp, but the idea of saying lock click, that definitely is.
So Kathy says, I find it difficult to change cut lines to score lines in already done SVGs. Any tips? Yeah, we talked about this a little bit earlier about, at least in Cricut Design Space, they don't allow you as a designer to set your score lines as score lines. So just everything comes in as a basic cut line. So for me, and I think Lucy said she does this too, like I will my fill color on anything that needs to be a score line is red. So unfortunately, in Cricut Design Space, when it comes in, everything looks black. But if you click on the line and you see up in the operation box the fill color is red, then that means it should be changed to a score line. And I include a little bit of a cutting tips, like PDF with my stuff to help you out with that. But admittedly, that's tough because other machines, like usually it's a perforated cut as opposed to like just that nice, like, no, do any other machines have like a scoring stylus kind of thing?
The Siser does.
The Siser does. That's really nice. Because I know the silhouette just cuts like a low, like less depth to let you cut it. And then the scan and cut actually cuts perforated lines. Just wide apart so you can fold it.
It's not, I don't usually score because I just score it myself. That's not a functionality of something that I would create or design. I don't do that because I like to do some things on my machines, but I like to do a lot more by hand. So I'm weird like that. I'm definitely what you like, the hybrid-y crafter where I'll do a little bit of this and then a lot of that, but just a little bit on the cutting machine. I'm weird.
Well, and I would say like if you're looking at the design and you're not sure like what's a score line, I would kind of, hopefully it comes in like so you can see the whole thing where you have a picture of it, and then hopefully you can kind of through common sense sort of determine like, oh, that should probably be a score line because mine are like, here's the card base and then there's a straight line across it, so common sense wise I would think you kind of figure out like I probably don't want to cut that piece in half, so I want to score it. I don't know if that really helps, but
and in Cricut, I think like if you don't know how the side panel works where you can see your layers, I think that is helpful, something to learn just because that way you can like easily select. Yeah. These are all, I do the same where I will group all my score lines. So you can just select that group and hit score and it changes all of them.
Right.
So I would say just maybe learn that side layers panel. It's a lot easier to change them.
And shift and go click, 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 click.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
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 Another question was, and this is Idea Studio, which goes with the lock click machine. Can you export? I've never tried because I always create all my designs outside of I've never gone into the studio because I was working with Cricut, which you don't design inside, Design Space. I never have. I do it with Inkscape, and I play around with like a few different other programs to create all my designs. I'm weird. I like a hodgepodge of like, go to here, do this, go here. Because it's what's worked for me,
But then you have all this knowledge.
True.
Yeah.
But I've only ever uploaded and worked with it once I've uploaded it into Idea Studio. I've never done it, played with it once it got in there. So I'm not sure. Besides changing colors of what the product was, like the cut file, like it went from black to blue or something like that. That was the only thing I've done. So horrible.
You got to get out the Google.
Yeah, I have to get out the Google.
Yeah.
So here's another question. What machine works best for cutting felt? What felt is best? I think the stuff from Michaels is too flimsy.
I have no advice to give you, so I have nothing to say. I've never done it.
The is really good at cutting felt. You want to use a wool felt. although Erin, you've used the more like acrylic felt with it,
So
right?
for 8 years, I worked with a company called Kuhn & Felt, and I cut felt with everything, including my Maker 3, which is why I was so bummed because it had to be the rotary blade. So if you're going to cut felt, make sure that the machine you are using has a rotary blade. So as long as the machine has a rotary blade, it's going to cut felt because that's what it's meant to do. You know, it's like the rotary wheel that you would cut fabric with, which means it also can cut fabric. And it was acrylic felt. And for up until about 3 years ago, the felt in Michael's, and you still might find some, was Kuhn & Felt, which was made out of a company based out of Waco, Texas. They hand make it there, and they would do all the felt that you would find inside, like felt tip markers. They would do felt that would also be found like in your car. There's felt linings and stuff. The craft division was a very small division of their bigger company. And so you can still, and Joann's had Kuhn & Felt in there. So if you see like on your felt, there's a little sticker and it has like a K, like a funny looking little K. It's like blue. Then that's Kuhn & Felt. But about 3 or 4 years ago, Michael switched to a different felt company that was not based out of the States. And so you can see the difference in the quality, but you can still, like, sometimes some of those felt colors just don't go very often, depending on what Michael's you go to. And if you go down to like the bottom of the road, you might still find some of the Kuhn & Felt in there. And it cuts great. It was fantastic. Yeah. So I have zero problems with that. And you can find it still online and stuff, but it's just getting so inundated with the felt companies coming in from overseas. But the quality is not the greatest, but it cuts great.
Well, that's good.
There was there was a premium felt, and then there was like the thinner felt. The premium felt, it was like double the thickness, super strong. And that one I had to do a second run when the rotary went through because it needed that extra cut. Otherwise I'd have to go in with scissors and like trim off the little extra floofies that were stuck to the edges. You know, it just didn't quite cleanly do it. So there.
I know with like hand crank dies, like whether you're cranking through the like the metal dies.
I cut them fine.
I see. I did not have good luck with.
I've cut all kinds of stuff with my metal dies with the felt. I cut just about everything. Yeah.
But I was doing. I don't know if it's like because I was doing the like really tiny little holes for like stitch. I don't know, like stitching things together and stuff, and it wouldn't cut through those.
Oh, I've cut so many things that I felt like I would do words, and I did rolled flowers, and I've cut leaves.
Yeah, who knows?
I've cut tons of stuff. But again, the thicker felt, it needs a few passes, or you need like an extra shim in there just to help really get it through. So,
okay.
But the thinner felt, the crafty felt, quote unquote, it's fine. So hope that answers your
question. And the silhouette can cut felt too, and fabric. So, and really, they're all about the same. Like
rotary blade. That's your.
As long as it has a rotary blade, you're good. Yeah.
Make sure it has that. All right. So here's another question. Do you want to get it? I want me to. We'll say it out loud. If you design the silhouette, can it design multiple items like the Cricut?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Yeah, I don't got it either.
Multiple items.
Maybe it means like how Cricut you can like adjust like cut three, cut 4 of this. Do you know what I mean? Up at the top, you can do like cut 4 of each or whatever. Is that what that question means? Maybe.
Not sure.
I am not sure. I mean, you can design all kinds of different things, and you can design any shape, and you can have multiple elements in one design. If that helps, I don't know. Like if like a card, I do a lot of really detailed cards, so my designs have like 50,000 pieces, and so you can design all that in Silhouette Studio and save it as one file, if that's the question. But hard to know.
I'm not sure.
Clarify a little bit for us.
Let's see what this one says.
Can you adjust? Can you edit the points in Siser in Leonardo, Michelle?
Ooh, I don't know the answer to that. I'm trying to think if I have done that. Gosh, I'm not sure. I don't remember.
I think Shelly said you could.
Yeah,
Shelly's used it quite a bit. So
okay.
We're not the best panel today.
Sorry. All right, so Laura is asking, how can you do a double cut on each of the machines?
Well, you had 2 choices with Cricut. Like you can go in and manually adjust the settings.
It's like in the
on-
advanced settings, quote unquote.
Yeah,
Right?
go into the machine or the all materials menu, and then at the bottom you can go into material settings, and you can find the material, like my heavy cardstock, and then you can go in and you can change it from like 1 pass to 2 passes if it's a setting that you use a lot and you're going and you want to double cut. So I have done that, I think, with my heavy cardstock. I'm not 100% on that. Or, and this is what you could do with other machines as well, is you can like copy the shape that you're cutting, duplicate it, and then align it exactly on top of the first shape. And like in Cricut Design Space, you'd have to attach those together. In like Silhouette, you just leave them right stacked on top of each other. And so it would cut it twice because it's going to cut the first shape. And then because you have the second shape stacked right on top of it, it's going to cut the second shape. If that makes sense.
And on
Well, I think
Cricut,
Silhouette has the ability to, like, you can do 1 pass, 2 pass, 3 passes. Like, you can just change that setting now without having to do.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I think
and maybe
that's,
you could with before.
yeah.
Too. I don't know.
And Siser has that too. When you hit cut, then you can like adjust how many passes you want to do right nice. When you hit cut. So
yeah.
But you can also do like on Siser and on Cricut, if you don't unload your mat, you can just hit the button again and it will just redo what it's just done. You could do it that way too on both machines.
Not on the Joy or the Joy Extra though.
Oh, you can't? I didn't know that. Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Yeah.
On the Maker, you can't on the Maker.
And then they took it away. I don't know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The lock click, anytime you go to cut anything, it gives you, here's how many passes, and you can adjust that. Here's the speed, and here's the pressure, and you can adjust anything that you put in there. And once you've changed it, like, okay, is that what you want to change it? Like, it's going to save that setting that you did with it. So yeah, and it's like right nice. There on the display page. You don't have to go into like some special setting. It's like boom, right there. So.
That's really nice.
Yeah, that part's nice. Okay, there was a clarification to the other question that we had that we didn't know. Does she mean that it has a way of cutting the same project multiple times by increasing the number on the cutting page like you can with Cricut? So I think that's where you were going.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, you can do that for sure. Mm-hmm. Yep. You can duplicate and copy and, do all that stuff in Silhouette.
Yeah, I don't know about Siser if you could do cut 2 of this without like just copy pasting. I don't remember seeing that setting in there.
I've never tried
it. The copy paste thing's kind of a workaround.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But it works.
Yeah.
Oh, here's one for you, Elena.
Which machine is it that has the really small display screen? Probably the Scan and Cut, I'm guessing, because the Silhouette doesn't have a display screen. So the Scan and Cut has like a little. Maybe I can. It's the blue machine here. Let's see if I can.
The Siser has that too. It has like a little, but it's not like hard to use. I mean, everything's appropriately sized for how big the little electronic screen is. But you can also control everything on the computer too. It's just kind of either or.
So that you can sort of see the screen there on the Scan and Cut, the little black square here. So that's not very big. And so I'm not, when I use my Scan and Cut, other than when I'm scanning things in, like that I'm going to just cut with the machine, I use the software for that because it's a lot easier to work in the software and change the sizes and stuff than it is on the little screen. Although you can do that on the little screen. I'm not super proficient in it because I'm just not patient enough to sit there and, press the buttons. And I'm like, and you can only go up like one at a time. So you have to like click, and that kind of thing. So
I always wondered with the Scan and Cut, like I've gone to so many like card classes with like Lawn Fawn and like all these other companies that have these cute little stamps. They have the dies that go with them, but inevitably you go into their class and they've all been pre-colored, pre-die cut for you. I'm like, they must have just like, and this is just my brain going, just because I could not imagine them sitting there hand die cutting every one of those pre-stamped images. They've got to like stamp it once, scan it, do multiple, throw it out on a page, have a brother scan and cut, and then like cut them to match. Like this is what I would do if I was.
Yeah, it probably is.
Like hand, but then I hear people like somebody so and so's hand cut all of these items for you, and I'm like, Jesus, that's a lot for like a class of 100 people, and we all have multiple hand cut little die cuts. Like,
I remember teaching a class once, and we had to do that, and so like I went to the store early one day, and like the manager and I are in the back room like cranking stuff through the big shots, you know, to get them all cut out.
Wow.
And luckily they had more than one set of the die, but it was like you wouldn't normally have more than one, you know, of the same die.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, that is a great reason to get a scanning gun.
Oh, sorry. I feel like I've missed this question. I'm sorry if I didn't put it up earlier. It's asking, does the Cameo 4 engrave and cut veneer? She has a maker, and that's what she's been using, but she's not sure if the Cameo 4 does that. I think that's maybe what we were missing is like
it
what
can
were
cut
you
veneer. Yeah. Engraving, though, I don't think it can. I'm not 100% on that. I mean, I feel like when I first got it, that it in the maker could do all the same things. But, yeah, engraving. Oh, no. Okay, now I know. I used a third-party tool to engrave with my Silhouette Cameo 4. So you can do it. They just don't make an engraving tip, or at least they didn't at the time when I was using it.
Now I'm trying to remember. Again, we were talking about the 5 Alpha, and we were talking about the machines that were the latest ones that were coming out when I went to the Silhouette Summit. And they had an engraving machine out there, and it was doing all the engraving.
Well, the Curio, I think, is like the big engraver for them.
Right. And it was the Curio that was doing it. So if you're wanting to go like actually engraving in leather and cutting into leather and doing all these like really higher end stuff, then that was what the Curio was for. I don't remember the 5 Alpha, which means like that would be the 4's next generation that we were seeing happening. It was not doing that stuff. So.
And that might be a reason that they don't make the like an engraving tool for it, because they want you to get the Curio in addition to the Cameo. You need to have both machines.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But there is a third-party tool that will do it.
There you go. There always seems to be some sort of workaround. People are like, no, I have this machine. I want to make it do this. So they figure out a way to make it do it.
Because you can engrave on the Joy too with a third-party tool.
But how long does it take? I could just imagine that little Joy.
It does take a long time.
5 hours to engrave like a hello.
Yeah. And that's one where you have to like copy and duplicate like to get get enough passes.
Oh, wow.
Or actually, no, I think what I did was I do a hatch fill and then, but it works.
That's funny.
Like I get it word, but I'm like, whoo. That takes some time and energy.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Here we have a question.
Okay, so Ruth asks, I have just got a Silhouette Portrait 4. I am a Maker 3 user. Do I have to buy a pen holder to use a pen? Could I use my Cricut pens? I cannot find info on Portrait 4. Always says Portrait 3. Now, I'm assuming that the Portrait, just like the Cameo, comes with those pen adapters.
Yes, and the Portrait 4 just came out like last year, so that's probably why you're not seeing a whole lot of information out, because it's the newer machine for the Portrait. There is a Facebook group that Ellie Mae runs, and it's all, if you look up in Facebook, or if you want to send Ellie, like go to her, like she's one of our speakers, so go to her page and send her a message. She can answer all those questions for you, because she is like the silhouette queen and she knows a lot about stuff. And she knows other people that can answer that question for you. I have not played with it, so I don't know the answer to this one. But there was pen adapters for all the machines when I was at the summit, that I noticed that there was an A, there was a B, there was a C, there was this, and then there was like an A1, and it was crazy. And so it made it feel like there was pens for everything. And they were coming out with some really cool new pens too, that were like holographic and stuff. They were really nice.
Ooh.
I know.
So Ruth, cool. Did you get those little adapters? Because they're like white plastic and they have like letters on them to help you identify like which goes with what.
I think so. They on the side, it was like, like those little pen adapters that you could see. Yeah. And it goes in the pen slot.
Came with it.
But there was other ones that were out there too. So I think they were trying to, like, if you had an older machine, there was certain pen adapters that went with certain machines. So I think she's asking, does the one that goes with the 3
work with the 4?
Check with Ellie Mae. Sorry, I am not the almighty pen. I don't even use pens in my machines, so I'm not the first to ask. We need Ellie here.
Yeah, really.
I was trying to find Ellie Mae's. Let me just see if I can find her website.
Secrets Plus, right?
Silhouette Secrets. That's what it is. Yeah.
But what her Facebook group is, it's like the silhouette, and she's got a lot of people in there. And if she doesn't know the answer, you could ask the question in the group, and somebody in there would know for sure. Yeah.
I can go on her page. I will look on her page and we can find out.
There you go.
So give me a second.
We're problem solving on the fly.
Yeah. Here we go. Okay, let's see. Facebook. Silhouette Secrets Plus.
Yep.
That's the Facebook group, Silhouette Secrets Plus?
Yep.
Well, that's her page, and then you can probably get to the group from there.
Yeah, the group is called Silhouette Secrets Plus with Ellie Mae. Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
She would be able to answer your question and probably be like, here's a link to get the product, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And these are all the pens that work with it.
Right.
That or Sarah Clark. Sarah Clark is also really good. She's the one that I went to the conference with. And she is like the troubleshooting for all, like, she is the software queen. You've got a problem with the software, she's going to pull out the machine. She's like, has all of them. And she'll pull out the machine, the one that you're asking that does it, and she'll figure out exactly what you're doing, and she'll figure out a way to solve that problem for you. So she's awesome.
It doesn't even get Johnson.
Yeah, Terry Johnson knows Silhouette really well too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All things Silhouette. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of them out there. So, but they're also all in that Facebook group too. So if you ask the question in there, they will see them.
Okay.
And we're at our hour.
Oh, we're at our hour. Wow. That went fast.
I know.
It could go fast.
So hopefully that was helpful. You got kind of like the tier 2 of the expertise here. But, I think we did pretty well. So hopefully you guys got to that.
Well, we're trying to answer questions just about we only have the ones, like I have the one machine. So it's like I don't have all of them to be able to compare. But I'm glad we at least had a few different machines worth of knowledge.
For sure. Absolutely. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess that's the end. So, and it's the last one for the day. See, I'm so tired. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. So then the next live stream will be at 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow for a crafty chat. And hopefully you'll enjoy the rest of the evening. Keep watching those videos and have a really, really nice night.
Oh, and special tomorrow in the evening, we also have our wrap
giveaway.
I was like,
craft party? The wrap-up party. Yeah.
Wrap-up party.
Yeah.
So if you haven't entered the giveaways, go in and do that because we're going to be drawing and announcing the giveaways. Sorry, I'm going to
Thank God Erin is here to do all the things that I can't remember to do.
So
go to the giveaways page and enter those giveaways because they will all close like tomorrow around noon just because we have to have time to pull the winners and know who they are for the wrap-up party. So, and then the daily VIP pass giveaway that I announced in the morning, that's going to stop like tonight. So get your name in now if you want to be in that one too.
There you go.
All right.
And they're all on the schedule page. So you can find all that stuff on the schedule page.
And then go to the nav bar on the top if you need to get to the other pages.
There we go.
And if you have you know what? I've got one other thing. We're a lot. So anybody who is has Spectrum as their like email internet provider person, which would be like most of the southern US, they're giving us lots of problems with they don't translate the links in the emails correctly. So they're throwing up like insecure connection messages and stuff that are not valid. The site has been up and running all day. It is secure. It's got a valid SSL certificate. It's all good. So, but what that means is the email links don't work for you.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is you have to either hand type in the schedule page into your browser. You can also email the help desk, which is hello@cardmakingwithsvgs.com, and we'll send you the link. But it is cardmakingwithsvgs.com, as you see below, /2025-schedule. And that will get you in.
I love all these email providers making life hell for everybody.
All these like random weird problems cropping up.
Oh, yeah.
You never know what's going to happen.
8 p.m.
Yeah, never
Eastern.
know.
I know there's a typo in the printed schedule that says 6 p.m. It is, in fact, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I apologize for that if you're looking at the printed version.
It's because you're thinking your time, mountain time.
Yeah, I'm thinking mountain time rather than Eastern time. Oh. It's tough.
All right.
It's so
Yeah.
hard. I'm just kidding. Thanks, you guys. Have a wonderful,
Thank
wonderful
you.
evening. And thanks, Michelle and Erin, for being here and bringing your expertise.
Do what I can.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.